Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to start in a standing position just with our nice gentle rock the baby sway. So just feet about hip width distance apart, bend one knee and then the other. Let your weight gently shift side to side. When we come down to the ground, we're going to do a little bit of work of like just it's going to feel like you're doing nothing, but it's actually really good for the central nervous system, for our eyes, for our brain, for our spine, but it will feel like you're not really doing any actual stuff. And that's kind of the point. So take a moment here in your standing, rocking side to side, or wherever you are for this moment in your space, and just look all around you. Like take a big glance at everything that's around you and try to take in as much visual stimuli as you can. So like think panoramic view, just as much stuff as you can look at. Bring it into your eyes. Take a moment to just take all of that information in. Notice the lights in the room that you're working in, and then kind of notice the sounds as well, because sometimes sight and sound kind of go hand in hand with each other. If you're ever one of those people that like turns the radio down so you can see better, you know what I'm talking about. So just take a moment to kind of tune into everything around you visually, tune into everything around you in the sounds that you hear. And then once you've tuned in just enough, find one single thing. Maybe it's the brightest thing. Maybe it's the thing that's directly in front of you. Maybe it's the strongest visual thing, but find that thing and then see if you can just focus your eyes on that thing for a moment. Let your body come to stillness. Take a nice big breath. Let your shoulders lift all the way up to your ears. Exhale and roll your shoulders around, down and back. Keep your eyes focused on that single thing, that most visual thing that your eyes can see. Inhale, draw your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll them around, down and back. One more time. Keep your eyes focused on that single point. Inhale, draw your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll your shoulders around, down and back. And then one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Just for a moment here, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a moment here just to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, we're going to come down into constructive rest. So you come down in any way that feels the most appropriate, the way that gets you down in the most gentle, mindful way. Come down onto your backside, legs as wide as you like, knees dropped in towards each other. And then once you're there, we're going to start with hands on the belly. So we're just going to take a moment to let the hands find their comfortable position, let your back find its comfortable position, let your shoulder blades snuggle in, let everything take a moment to get super comfy. And then you're going to take a moment to just notice your feet. This is one of those cues that it's like, because it's what I do. I have a tendency to just like tense up my toes a little bit as I come down into constructive rest. So maybe lift your toes, spread your toes, relax your toes down, and then let your body just have a moment to chill out. And then once you've kind of arranged your body in a way that feels mostly fairly comfortable, hands on the belly, we're going to breathe nice and deep into the rib cage. So we're not trying to breathe into the belly. We're not trying to let the belly lift or anything like that, but you're going to breathe into your rib cage and just feel the gentle bit of movement that happens in your abdomen. Take one more breath here. And then we're just going to move the hands up. So the hands are going to find a spot along the ribs. So wherever your hands comfortably land so that you can feel the ribs underneath your hands. And then once you've found a good handhold, take a second to just wiggle into place, make sure everything feels good. Take a breath. And then we're going to keep our breath in the rib cage. So we're going to breathe in and out, nice, deep, slow, happy breaths, but we're going to focus our eyes on a single point on the ceiling. So now you're going to start to just find your gaze. In yoga, we call that dristhi, a focused gaze. So we're going to focus our eyes on a single point, or see if you can just find a place that's like directly in front of your sight, and then let your eyes just look at that point, but you're not going to like try to sharp super focus. So you're just going to kind of let your eyes rest on that single point, and then just allow your eyes to stay open as long as you can. You might start to find a little stinging in the eyes. You might feel your eyes water a little bit. Feel free to blink if you need to, but staring at that point without like a sharp focus, you're not trying to like zoom in and out or anything. You're just going to let your eyes rest on that single point above you. Keep your eyes open as long as you can, and then you'll blink just gently and then come right back to staring at that single point. But the whole entire time, hands on the rib cage. Breathe in and out in a nice slow rhythm. Eyes are staring at that single point. We're not going to try to turn our head. We're not going to try to get overwhelmed by any stimuli in the room. So even if you, unless you hear like noises and it's like emergency and you need to like pay attention and tune into it, but with as much focus as you can, mental focus, but soft focus of the eyes. Keep your eyes focused on the ceiling. Keep your breath in your rib cage. Keep everything going, but take a moment, just a mindful moment to notice, are you pushing through your eyes? Does it feel like you're trying to reach your eyes up towards the ceiling? Can you soften your eyes, but still keep your eyes focused on that single point above you? Can you soften your cheekbones? Can you soften the back of your neck, the back of your shoulders, the back of your rib cage? But this entire time, your eyes are still focused on that single point and you're still breathing into your rib cage. We're going to go for about 3 more cycles of breath here. See if you can still maintain that single pointed gaze, soft through the back of the neck, soft through the back of the body, breathing into the rib cage. And now you're going to see if you can keep your eyes fixed on that single point, and you're going to start to turn your head a little bit side to side. So start really small, but keep your eyes focusing on that single point on the ceiling. As you turn your head side to side, that means your eyes are going to stay fixed and your head is going to turn. Go soft, go mindful, and go with like small range of motion just to gently find the work. So think of this as more like soothing the nervous system rather than trying to get some stretch in the neck or some stretch in your eyes. So you're going really small, really gentle, really mindful. Eyes are fixed on that single point, turning your head a little side to side. Take one more turn of the head side to side. And now we're going to come back to center. Blink if you need to, do any little resets that you need to. Take a moment to notice if you picked up any tension down in your toes, reset your toes. And now we're going to keep our eyes fixed on that single point, and we're going to gently nod the head up and down. We're going to still keep the hands on the rib cage if we can. Keep your eyeballs fixed on that single point. Lift and lower your chin just a little bit. It doesn't need to be big, grand range of motion. It needs to be small, gentle, and mindful. One more gentle nod of the head up and down. And then when you're ready, head's going to come back to center. Maybe take a moment to just kind of blink your eyes out. Just do any little reset that feels right to you. And now arms are going to come up into cactus or goalpost position. As you bring your arms up, you might take a moment to just rearrange your shoulder blades, get everything snuggled back in. And then once you feel like you've got your arms and your shoulders arranged in a way that feels nice, we're going to start with some super small baby windshield wipers. So barely scooting the knee past one and then the other. So keep it really, really small to start. And then as you do this small windshield wiper work, notice your toes and your feet. So if you picked up tension again in your toes, and again, this is a cue that I give to myself because it's one of the places where I tend to grip in my toes. Can you relax your toes? Can you relax the arches of your feet? Relax your ankles. And then once you've got your feet kind of figured out, take your windshield wipers and go just a little bigger. Don't go full range of motion yet, but take it just slightly bigger than the work you were just doing. And now as you swish your knees side to side, you're going to notice your vision. Are you looking at your knees? Are you looking at the screen? Or can you bring your awareness back to that single point on the ceiling? And then when you've got your eyes focused on that single point in the ceiling, maybe you can see your knees moving a little side to side in your periphery, but keep your eyes focused on that single point up at the ceiling. Keep your eyes fixed on that single point, and now take your windshield wipers as big a range of motion as you can find, but still keeping that nice focused gaze up towards the sky. One more generous windshield wiper each way, and then legs are going to come back to constructive rest. So knees are going to drop back in towards each other. Now we're going to pick up the arms. We're going to try to keep our eyes fixed on that single point on the ceiling. And now we're going to pick up the arms and we're just going to crisscross the hands in front of your vision. So your eyes are focused on that single point in the ceiling. It's not an efforted focus. It's just a soft, gentle focus. And then you're crossing your hands across the midline of your vision and try to keep your eyes gently focused on that single point. And then see if you can come back to breathing in the rib cage. Take one or two more breaths here, moving the hands across the midline of your vision. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our arms back to cactus goalpost position. Maybe blink your eyes for a second. And now we're going to keep the backs of the hands connected to the ground best we can. And then think big good morning stretch with the upper part of the body. So you're going to stretch your arms up and overhead. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, gently pull the elbows back down so that they're fairly in line with the shoulders. Inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. Think big good morning stretch. Exhale, pull the elbows back down in line with the shoulders. Inhale, reach your arms, big good morning stretch. Exhale, pull the elbows back down. And now we're going to flip palms, bring the hands down alongside the hips and walk the feet in a little bit closer. So now feet about hip width distance apart. And then we're just going to lift the toes. If you can, keep your eyes fixed on that single point on the ceiling. All you have to do is inhale, lift your toes and maybe spread your toes a little bit. Exhale, soften your toes down. But this entire time you're breathing in the rib cage, eyes are focused on the ceiling. Inhale, lift your toes up. Exhale, soften your toes down. Inhale, lift your toes up. Exhale, soften your toes down. One more time. Inhale, lift your toes up. Exhale, soften your toes down. Eyes are going to stay fixed on that single point. If you can, inhale, you're going to lift your toes and the balls of the feet. Exhale, float the balls and the toes back down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, floating back down. Eyes are still fixed on that single point. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Eyes are going to stay fixed on the ceiling. We're going to lift the heels. Inhale, lift your heels away from the ground. Exhale and soften down. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, soften down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, soften down. And now release your gaze. If you need to, blink, do whatever you need to so that you kind of soothe that out. Even move your head a little side to side just to kind of give yourself that moment to reset. And then once you've reset, maybe heels a little closer to the butt, we're going to move right into pelvic tilt. Exhale and press your low back into the ground like you're trying to create zero space in that small of your back. And then inhale, release back to the natural curve of your back. Exhale and press your low back down. Inhale to release. Exhale, press your low back down. Inhale, release. And at this point, eyes can be wherever feels the most comfortable. So don't worry about that focused gaze. But if the focused gaze felt good, you can stick with that. Now we're going to roll up into like our little mini bridges, or think halfway point. So we're going to exhale, lift your butt up, but think about keeping the backs of your ribs anchored down to the ground. And then inhale, lower back down. Exhale, lift your hips up. Just go to that halfway point. Think about anchoring your ribs. Exhale, lower back down. I said the wrong breath cue. Exhale, lift your hips up. Inhale, lower back down. 2 more to go here. Exhale, lift up. Inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lift up. Inhale to lower, pull both knees into your chest, a light and gentle squeeze. We're going to keep the knees together and take your knees together, draw them in circles, go in one direction, can be super small, doesn't need to be big range of motion. Sometimes less is more, so only go to the depth and range of motion that feels good. One more circle around, and then when you're ready, reverse directions, go the other way. Nice. One more circle around, and then we're going to think mini baby wind relieving pose. So right knee is going to pull into the chest, left foot's going to touch down, and then left knee is going to pull into the chest, and the right knee is going to or right foot's going to touch down. But we're going to keep that bent knee position, so it doesn't need to be extreme. It's going to just be light, gentle, mindful, noticing the movement in your hips, noticing the point where your foot touches the ground. Take one more time through, or even yourself out. And then the next time your right knee pulls in towards your chest, left leg is going to go nice and long. And we're going to think mini baby supine twist. You're going to take that right knee just slightly across the midline of your body and then bring it back. Bring the right knee slightly across the midline of your body and bring it back. We're going to go a little bit further, bring the knee slightly across the midline of the body, maybe go like your hip's going to pick up and your back picks up off the ground just a little bit, and then bring it back in. And then we're going to do that again. Pull the knee across, maybe the hip lifts, maybe your back lifts a little bit, and then bring it back in. And now we're going to go to our edge. So you're going to go as far over and across into your supine twist as feels good, and extend your right arm out from your shoulder. Arm out to the side, knee over to the left. And now we're going to take that right arm, you're going to stretch it up alongside your ear, and then you're going to bring it back down in line with the shoulder. Stretch it up along your ear. Bring it back down along your shoulder. Stretch it up along your ear. Bring it back in line with the shoulder. Turn your head to the right. Look to your right hand. So you're going to try to turn your head as far as you can. And then once you've got your head turned as far as you can, you're going to look your eyes in the opposite direction. So head's turned to the right. Eyeballs are going to look to the left. And we're going to hold that nice steady gaze. So for this one, slightly firm gaze. Hold that steady gaze. Hold your eyes open best you can. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your eyes. Return your head to center. Pull your knee into your chest. Bring the left knee into meet. Both legs together, knees together, toes together. Keep those legs together. Draw a couple of circles in one direction. Draw a couple of circles the other way. Awesome. And now we're going to hold on to the left knee. Right leg is going to go nice and long. And then we're going to go little baby mini supine twist. You're going to take that left knee over across the midline of the body just slightly, and then bring it right back in. Bring it over and across just slightly, and then bring it back in. Bring it over and across just slightly. Bring it back in. We're going to go a little bit further. Bring the knee over and across. Maybe the hip lifts up. Maybe your back tries to lift off, and then we bring it right back in. Bring that knee over and across. Maybe the hip lifts, maybe your back lifts, and bring it back in. Bring it over and across. The hip lifts, the back lifts. Bring it back in. And now we're going to take it to your supine twist. So take that left knee over and across just as far as feels good. Left arm is going to open out nice and wide. Left arm is going to reach up alongside your ear. So we're going to stretch it up and overhead and then bring it back down in line with the shoulder. Reach your arm up and overhead. Bring it back in line with the shoulder. Reach your arm up and overhead. Bring it back in line with the shoulder. Stay there. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head as far as you can. And then once you've got your head turned, your eyes are going to look to the right. So head's going to stay turned to the left. Eyes are going to look to the right. Hold that steady focused gaze. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your gaze. Return your head to center. Pull the left knee into your chest. Bring the right knee into meet. Both knees in for a light little hug and squeeze. And then we're going to take figure 4s with the feet staying on the ground. So start by resetting your feet on the ground, reset your back, reset your shoulders, anything that feels right. We're going to take the right leg across into a figure 4, right hand to the inner thigh, gently push into the inner thigh. Take one gentle breath. Release your hand, lift that leg up and off, and we're going to switch to the other leg. Left leg is going to come across the right. Left hand to the inner thigh, gently push into the inner thigh. Take a breath. Release your hand, lift that leg up and off. Now we're going to come back to the right leg, and now we're going to do little flaps of the knees. So hands free, you're going to try to reach your knee down towards your mat and then reach your knee up towards your chest. Reach your knee down towards the end of your mat. Reach the knee up towards your chest. Reach the knee down towards the end of your mat. Reach the knee up towards your chest. And then bring that knee back to a neutral position, hands free. Lift your left leg up just as high as feels good, and then lower it back down with control. Lift the left leg up just as high as feels good. Lower it with control. Lift it up as high as feels good. Lower it with control. Pick that right leg up and off. Take a moment just to pause and notice one side might feel a little different than the other. Left leg is going to come across the right. Hand to the inner thigh, gently push open, take a breath. And then we're going to release that hand and do that flap of the knee. So knee is going to lift towards the heart. Knee is going to reach towards the end of your mat. Knee lifts towards the heart. Knee reaches away. Knee lifts towards the heart. Knee reaches away. Hold there. Take a moment, just make sure everything feels good. And then if all is feeling good, lift your right leg up, lower it back down. Lift your right leg up, lower it back down. Do that one more time. Lift your right leg up, lower it back down. Help your left leg come off the right. We're going to toe heel the feet out nice and wide. Go back to your windshield wipers. And if it feels good, arms back into that cactus or goalpost position. So maybe you're turning your head a little bit side to side as you go. One more little swish side to side. We're going to go into our Shavasana, and then we're going to come up and do a minute of work after we've completed our Shavasana. So find a place where you'd like to go, whether that's constructive rest or that more traditional shape, and walk your feet nice and long. Take a second to find your way there. Work at all your little wiggles, get nice and comfortable. Allow a little time here to let your body soften. But if it feels good to do so, instead of closing your eyes down for your Shavasana tonight, perhaps you will just look at that single point on the ceiling, but with a soft focus. So your eyes are just going to rest on that single point. You're going to let your eyes get a little bit watery, let them get a little bit tired. Just allow that focus to happen. So the further away above you you can look, the better. And see if you can just allow for a moment there to let your eyes find that restful focus. And then just come back to your breath for a moment, breathing in and out, nice and slow and gentle. if you took the option to keep your eyes open, that you were doing that soft focused gaze, maybe take a moment to just blink your eyes out a little bit, maybe turn your head a little bit side to side, maybe even keep your eyes closed for a moment just to give that counter to that work that you just did. And then if you feel ready to do so, start to gently reawaken. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, any other light and gentle movement that feels good. Maybe if your legs were in a bent knee position, you might choose to walk them nice and long. And then maybe if it feels great to do so, take it into a big good morning stretch. Stretch through your fingers, reach through your toes, take up a whole bunch of space on your mat, take up a whole bunch of space in your world. Take a nice big breath in. And then in your own way and at your own pace, come up to a comfortable seated position. You can sit anywhere that feels good. And we're just going to have a little bit of attention and focus to our eyes. So if you're wearing glasses, you'll want to take them off, put them somewhere safe. We're going to crisscross the fingers just a little bit and then fire up the palms. Take a little extra time here. And as you fire up your palms, you're going to let your eyes focus on the movement of your hands. So you're going to try to keep your eyes open and steady focused on your hands as they crisscross and get some fire in the palms. Keep your eyes focused, eyes opened as long as you can. And then once you feel like your hands are nice and warm, close your eyes, heels of the hands into the eyes, and eyes are going to gently rest into your hands. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Keep your eyes covered if you can and just notice the lack of color and light behind your eyes. Notice if there's any residual tension around your eyes or do they feel softer? There's no right or wrong, but just notice. We're going to keep the eyes closed down if we can. Keep your head bowed down if you can. As you release your hands from your eyelids, keep your eyes closed down. Notice the filtered light that comes in behind your eyelids and just stack your hands on top of your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your night and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.